Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Patrick. Welcome to practice. As always, thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. Before we begin, if you could hit the like button, it is greatly appreciated. And if you want to practice with me more in full, you can always join me on Commune Yoga Online. For today's class, we're going to go through some strength basics. And if you like these types of classes and these types of videos, I'll try to release another one next week. So let me know in the comments section. With that being said, all you will need is yourself and your mat for class today. So let's get right into it and start in child's pose for just a few breaths. Allow your hips to sit back in space. Let your hands reach forward. Let your chest drip down towards the floor as you breathe in here. Find a gentle setup to your position. Find an ease to the shape. Let your heart sink down towards the floor. And give yourself the space to just be you for a few moments. Living in your own physicality, your comfort or discomfort with this shape. Living with your own thoughts, living with your own breathing pattern. And then go ahead and inhale, rise up onto hands and knees. And as you get here, circle the shoulders over the wrists a few times as usual to begin, especially when we do a practice, we're going to do a bit more stuff. In the strength world, it's always good to get into the hands a little bit to feel some movement through the shoulders, some movement through the wrists and the elbows, some gripping of the fingers on the mat. So you have that strength, that ability to kind of pull energy up from the floor, to transfer currency from the earth into you. And then from here, go ahead and tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And as you get there, be animalistic in your nature. Feel your ability to move and wave the spine. Feel your ability to just kind of get comfortable with your own physicality for a few moments here. And then find a nice, static, stable position. Breathing in. And go ahead and roll yourself forward into your plank pose, waving the spine. If you need to adjust your stance, by all means do, lengthening it or shortening it so you feel the 90-degree angle, shoulders stacking on top of the wrists, hands driving down into the floor, lengthening your forearms and upper arm bones. Active in the core, squeezing the glutes, and then roll your hips up and back downward, facing dog. Go ahead and inhale, wave yourself forward into plank pose. And exhale, cruise back into downward facing dog. So even though you know this is a strength practice, we still want to sync our breath to the movement. Inhale, wave yourself forward. And exhale, wave yourself back. Inhale, wave yourself forward. And this time, lower your knees to the floor. As they land, push the hands down heavy, and to warm up the arms a little bit, we'll lower the forearms down to the floor. So the forearms lower, and then they lift, and we'll do this 5 times. So 1, 2, try and really control that lower. 3, lift up. 4, and 5. From here, straighten the arms, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and we'll take 2 push-ups. So lower and rise. Lower and rise. Push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just slowly building these patterns of strength in the body. Inhale, lift your right leg up, and on the exhale, bend the left knee so you can drive the right knee into the chest, flex the spine, and wave yourself forward, setting your right foot up by your right thumb. From here, lower your left knee to the floor. Inhale, rise up into a strict low lunge, trying to eliminate any back bending or spinal movement here. And then bring your hands to heart center as you push off the left toes and come into chair pose, reaching your hands up to the sky as you get there. Bring your hands back to heart center. Lift the left foot off the ground, and then slowly step the left foot back to its starting position. You'll land in your lunge. The left knee lowers. Then your hands come to the floor. Step back into your plank pose. As you find your plank, lower and take the push-up. And then rise into side plank on the left hand. So weight the left hand down. Roll to the outer edge of left foot, inner edge of right as you stretch the right hand up to the sky. You can always modify by dropping the left knee down. Return to center, finding your plank pose. Take another push up, rising into your plank, and then roll to side plank on the right hand. Stretch and reach your left arm up towards the sky. Get as long and as tall as possible here. And then take your left hand down to the floor. Bend your knees, push your hips up and back in space. Keep your right knee bent so you can stretch the left leg up to the sky. And then on your exhale, the left foot journeys all the way up to the left thumb. As it lands, lower the right knee down. Inhale, rise into your lunge. Get long through the fingers, lift the lower belly. Try to keep your hips low on this journey to chair pose. Push into the left foot, drive through the right toes, and then step the right foot up to meet the left. Really fighting to keep the hips low there. That's how you'll work the legs more. As you find your chair pose, sit the hips a little bit lower, drive the knees a little bit further forward. Make sure you're breathing in here long and strong. And then your hands come back to heart center. Step the right foot back to where it came from. Lean the chest out. The right knee lands on the floor. Inhale, reach your hands up. Get long. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank pose. Same work, push up through side plank. Going to the right first this time. Lower down to your chaturanga. Rise up to plank. Side plank on the right hand. Pushing into the right hand, squeeze and lift the right side body here. Even if your right knee is down, you can still control that work. Beautiful job. Feel the right shoulder corkscrewing onto the back. Find your ability to fight through adversity, and then bring your left hand down to the floor. Move through your push-up, lower, and rise. And then swing over side plank on the left hand. Lifting your hips up, push into the left thumb, holding here, really working your strength foundation. And then right hand comes to the floor. Bend the knees, push your hips up and back, downward, facing dog. From here, bend your elbows, look forward, pull yourself through into your upward facing dog, curving the chest out, lifting the heart. And then go back to downward facing dog the exact same way you came in. So try and skim your chest low to the floor. Push up and back in space. We'll go forward one more time here. Pull yourself through into your upward facing dog. And then lower your hips to the floor. Land on the floor. Prepare for your locust pose here. Adjust yourself if you like to stay on the mat for this position. Ground your hips down into the floor. And then from here, drive through your non-dominant hip a little bit more. It's always a touch neglected. And then lift your shoulders, lift your feet, lift your knees. Reach your hands out in front of you. On your exhale, pull back. 1. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull back. 2. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull back. 3. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull back. 4. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull back. 5. Bring your hands where they would land for upward facing dog. Push the palms down, push the tops of the feet down, lift up. And then exhale, cruise back into downward facing dog. Beautiful work here. Inhale, wave yourself forward into plank pose. And then from here, take a push-up, lower, rise. Push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Lift your right hand up, right hand reaches back to touch left foot. And then right hand comes back to be symmetrical with left. Roll forward, plank pose. Move through your push-up, lower, and rise as low as you can go. As you get there, drive back into your downward facing dog. Left hand lifts this time. Left hand reaches back to touch right ankle. Left hand comes back forward, symmetrical with the right. One more each side. Roll forward into your plank pose. Take the push-up, lower, and rise. Drive your hips up and back in space, downward facing dog. Right hand lifts, reaches back, touches left foot. Right hand returns to be symmetrical with left. Wave your spine forward, plank pose. Last one here, remember it's always okay to be on your knees, lower and rise. Push your hips up and back. Root into your right palm. Left hand lifts and reaches back to touch the right ankle. Left hand returns to be symmetrical with the right. Beautiful job. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. On the exhale, step the right foot up to the right thumb. Let the left knee lower. Reach your hands up towards the sky. From here, keep your hands lifted up or bring them to heart center. Either way, lean forward. Keep the hips low. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Heavy through the hips here. This time, actually bring your hands to heart center in your chair pose. Inhale, lift the chest, root into the right foot. Squeeze your left heel to the butt. Keep it there. Bend your right knee as low as you can. See if you can touch the left knee to the floor behind the right heel. And then rise back up. Land the left foot by the right. From here, step the left foot back into your lunge. Lower the left knee to the floor. Inhale, reach your hands up, create space, get long through the front line of the body. On your exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank pose. Take the inhale. On the exhale, lower through your push-up. Rise into plank, journey side plank on the left hand. Stack the feet or just roll to the outer edge of left foot, inner edge of right. Really push here. Create lift, create elevation. On your exhale, right hand to the floor. Take the push-up, lower, and rise. Anchor into the right hand, roll to the outer edge of the right foot. Stretch and reach your left hand up to the sky. Breathing in here as you squeeze your side body. On your exhale, left hand to the floor. Bend your knees, push your hips up and back downward. Facing dog. As you get there, keep the right leg bent as you stretch the left leg up. And then bring the left foot up to the left thumb. Lower the right knee down. Inhale, rise up into your low lunge. Let the position be strict. You can keep your hands lifting up here or bring them to heart center, whatever feels better to you. Either way, you want to lean forward. Lift the right foot off the ground. Step the right foot up to meet the left, chair pose. Reaching your hands up towards the sky. Really working these bent leg positions today. Push your left heel down as you bring your hands to heart center and squeeze your right heel to the butt. From here, drive the right knee behind you and slowly tap the right knee towards the floor behind the left heel. This is tough, but stick with it. And then rise back up, finding your chair. Inhale, reach the hands up or keep them at heart center, whatever feels good to you. The right foot will step back into your low lunge position. Lean the heart forward to create space for the landing here. As the right knee lands, inhale, reach up, get taller. On your exhale, hands to the floor. Push into the palms as you step back into your plank pose. Move through the push-up, lower and rise. Root into your right hand, side plank on the right side. Stretch through the left hand, get long, get tall. On your exhale, left hand to the floor. Take the push-up, lower and rise. Side plank on your left hand. Drive into the left thumb, stretch your right arm all the way up. Squeeze your left side body. Hope you feel your core really getting active here. Bring your right hand back down to the floor. Bend your knees, push your hips up and back in space. We're going to pull ourselves through into upward facing dog. Look forward, bend elbows, pull yourself out, curve through the chest. Lift the heart, toes, tucked or untucked, whatever feels better to you. We're going right back into our downward facing dog. How low can you keep your chest to the floor as you curve your hips up and back in space? That's a really tough one. Don't be afraid to modify it as you need to. Bend your knees, look forward, pull yourself through into upward facing dog, leading with the heart, broadening the collarbones, creating your space and elevation, and then lower the hips to the floor. As they land, heavy through the left side. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the shoulders, lift the feet. Stretch your fingers back in space. Create some length. And then reach your hands forward. And exhale, pull back. 1. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back. 2. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back. 3. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back. 4. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull back and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the floor. Inhale, upward, facing dog. Exhale, downward, facing dog. Feel all the length in your down dog posture today. Push into the palms. Roll yourself forward. Plank pose. From there, keep your structural integrity. Find your frame. As you lower through your variation of the push-up, remember, always modify as you need to. As you reach plank, roll back into downward facing dog. Anchor into the left hand, lift the right hand up, reach back and touch the left foot. Right hand comes back, symmetrical with the left. Cruise the spine forward, creating some space there. Move through the push-up, lower and rise. Drive the hips up and away, downward facing dog. Left hand lifts, reaches back to touch. Right foot, cross-body connection. Left hand reaches up and lands by the right. Roll yourself forward, plank pose. One more time each way. Lower through your push-up. Rise. Drive your hips up and away. Plant into the left hand. Right hand lifts, reaches back and touches. Left foot. Right hand returns to meet left. Wave your spine forward. Take the push-up lower and rise. Drive the hips up and away. Plant into the right hand, float the left. Left hand reaches back and touches right ankle. And then left hand returns to be symmetrical with the right. Nice work, everybody. Last little bit here, right foot lifts. On your exhale, step right foot up to right thumb. As it lands, lower your left knee down. Option here this time, it's going to be tough, but if you're used to it, it may come together. Maybe not the first time you take this class, but maybe the second. Lift your left foot off the ground. See if you can come into your chair pose without your left foot touching the floor. So drive into your right heel, lean forward, and then pull yourself into the chair. Excellent work. Stretch through the fingers, sit the hips low. Bring the hands to heart center, left heel squeezes towards the butt. Try to tap the left knee behind the right heel. Rise back up, keep the left foot floating, left knee stays into the chest, and then step the left foot back. Maybe just the left knee lands as far away from the right heel as possible. Then the left toes land as you find your low lunge position. Reach your hands up towards the sky. On your exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank pose. Take the inhale. On the exhale, lower and rise. Side plank on the left hand. Reach your right hand all the way up. On the exhale, right hand to the floor. Flow through your push-up. Lower and rise. Side plank on the right hand. Lift your side waist. Stretch your left hand up towards the sky. On your exhale, left hand to the floor. Roll back downward, facing dog. As you get there, inhale. Lift the left leg up, keeping the right knee bent. On the exhale, left foot sweeps up to the left thumb. Give this a try on the second side. See what happens. Laugh at yourself if it gets messy, right? This whole part of the process is failure. Lift the right foot up. Squeeze the right heel towards the foot, or towards your butt, Drive your left heel down into the floor. Find that energy, that engagement in your core. Lean out, and then see if you can bring the right foot up with you without it touching the floor on the way before it lands in chair pose. Let it be a direct flight. Reach your hands up. Sit your hips a little bit lower. Feel your tailbone pulling back in space. And then bring your hands through heart center as you squeeze right heel to butt. Last time for this work. Bend the left knee as much as possible. Right heel tries to touch the floor behind the left heel. And then rise up, keep the right foot floating, flirt with your instability. And now reach your right foot, right knee as far back as possible. The right foot can, of course, land first, but fight for the right knee to land first and land gracefully. Inhale, reach your hands up. You're probably sweating a fair bit at this moment, but that's part of the game. On your exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into your plank pose. Take the push up, lower and rise. Side plank on the right hand. Stretch through your left fingers. Scoop the right shoulder onto the back body. Left hand to the floor. Take the push up, lower and rise. Side plank on the left hand, stretching up through the right arm this time. Squeezing your left side body like you're trying to get every ounce of orange juice out of your left side waist. On your exhale, right hand to the floor. Bend your knees, push your hips up and back in space. As you get there, bend your knees, look forward, bend your elbows slightly, pull yourself through into upward facing dog, opening the heart. And then sweep yourself back the same way you came in, downward facing dog. One more time, bend elbows, pull yourself forward into upward facing dog. On your exhale, lower your hips to the floor. Set yourself up for your locust pose. We'll take that very active locust pose, so get yourself organized. Maybe your feet are speaking to you a little bit, maybe they're cramping a touch. And then inhale, lift up, lift your feet, lift your chest, lift your hands. Feel all this engagement through the back line of the body. And then reach your hands forward and up, and then exhale, pull elbows towards hips. 1. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back, lift the heart. 2. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back, lift the heart. 3. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back, lift the heart. 4. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back, lift the heart. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands land. Inhale, upward, facing dog. Exhale, downward, facing dog. Nice job, everybody. Last bit of work here for our strength basics. We just have 2 more things to do. You're doing amazing. Stick with it. Cruise forward. Find your plank pose. Everywhere we're going, you've already been. Lower through your push-up and rise. Drive the hips up and back, down dog. Lift the left hand off the ground. Left foot reaches back and touches right foot. Left hand returns to be symmetrical with the right. Wave forward, plank pose. Take the push-up, lower, and rise. Drive your hips up and back in space. Right hand lifts. Right hand reaches back to touch left foot. Right hand returns, symmetrical with the left. Wave yourself forward, plank pose. Take the push-up and rise. Drive your hips up and away. Downward facing dog. Left hand lifts, reaches back to touch right foot. Left hand returns to the top of the mat. Sweep forward, plank pose. Take the push-up. Rise. Push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right hand lifts, reach back and touch left foot. Right hand returns. We're not done. Going for a double round this time. Roll forward, plank pose. Take the push-up. Rise. Downward facing dog. Left hand lifts, reaches back, touches right ankle. Left hand returns. Wave forward into plank. Take the push-up and rise. Hips drive up and back, downward facing dog. Right hand lifts, reaches back, touches left foot. Right hand returns. Wave forward, plank pose. Last 2, lower and rise. Push your hips up and back, down dog. Left hand lifts, reaches back, touches right ankle. Left hand returns. Roll forward, plank pose. Take the push up and rise. Drive your hips up and back. Right hand lifts, reaches back to touch left ankle. Right hand returns. Push into the palms. Lift heels, bend knees. Step or float feet all the way through so you're coming to a seat. Use some strength to make it there. As you find your seat, just 20 repetitions of high boat to low boat to close everything off. Use your breath, connect every step of the way. Inhale opens you into low boat, and exhale rises. That's 1. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 2. Open. Close. 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Inhale. Exhale, 11. Inhale. Exhale, 12. Inhale. Exhale, 13. Inhale. Exhale, 14. Inhale. Exhale, 15. Inhale. Exhale, 16. Inhale. Exhale, 17. Inhale. Exhale, 18. Inhale. Exhale, 19. Inhale. Exhale, 20. Roll back into your low boat pose. Be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Let it rest. Take a moment to lay flat on your back here. Let your knees drop open. Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Find your Supta Baddha Konasana and just close your eyes here. Feel your breath filling your body. Feel all this energy radiating in your physicality. I know I talk very calm through a lot of these videos, but all this stuff is challenging work, so embrace it and know that there's always times along the way when you have to push through, when you have to go through something. And there's also times when you want to find that subtlety, that softness, that welcoming energy that allows you to feel comfortable with yourself. And that's the balance that you're always trying to marinate within in these practices. Not what you should do, what you have to do, but what can you do, and what will you do, and how do you feel about that? Because learning to control not only your expectations of the practice, but your expectations of yourself is a big part of this process, beginning to understand that you can always control your effort and you can always control your output, but you can never control the outcome. So always being mindful of that in your own journey. As always, thank you so much for joining me for these practices. I look forward to sharing space with you again soon. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Peace.